Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over the updated 1.04 patch. So I just wanted to kind of go over some of the fixes and some of the changes and some of the stuff that's coming with this patch. So the main biggest thing is obviously the release of the new grapples. So we have a bucket, which is called the Ripper Bucket, which is one you can use with the Terraform mod to dig up the ground, or you can use it for whatever you want. A lot of people were requesting a bucket, so now we have one that connects to these machines. Again, so far the only machine that works super well with it is the Tiger Cat. You can do it on the John Deere, but because of the way it's built for the buncher, it's a little tight. I do have more machines coming out, so don't worry. There will be a whole bunch of different options for you guys for using digger equipment if that's your gig. We have the E50 Dangle head, which is finally a Dangle head. I know a lot of people have been requesting that we get something with Dangle capabilities, so this is going to be a good start. It's a great head, and it looks really good and works well, as you'll see in our little demo here. This one is called the Whalen Claw, which is a big fat claw, really great for doing wide grabs of short logs, that kind of stuff. Decent grab on it, and that looks pretty sweet too. This is the new version of the Power Clam. Again, it's got a huge grapple on it. It's really good at picking up shorts as well as longs, I found, for playing around with it. I think you guys will really enjoy playing with these new grapples. Everybody was getting sick of the other ones, so it's about time we get some new ones out. The other huge change to this update is all the machines now have proper 3D tracks. So a gentleman who wishes to remain unnamed at the moment had offered to build tracks, the animation files for the tracks, which is something I had no idea even where to begin. So big thanks to him. If he's watching, he knows how much I appreciate it. But this is really awesome to have actual proper tracks. We don't have those weird kind of 2D ones anymore. I knew eventually we'd kind of get to this point, but I'm sure glad that we actually did. So yeah, all the machines have tracks that are all 3D, and they look fantastic. And yeah, so that's another big update. So another big change is on the machines themselves. While you're controlling them, I made some changes to the way they react. So I improved the controls to make them kind of feel more hydraulic-y, I guess you could say. So like I said, in my real life, as you've seen the videos coming out on YouTube, I've been operating a Medill with a big clam on it, unloading log trucks. So after I've actually been playing with that for, almost a month and a bit now, running it 8 to 9 hours a day, I got a really good feel for how the machine kind of is supposed to move. And I found going back to the game, it was really, I don't know, jittery, like it moved really fast. So now, like when you're operating the machines, you'll find everything's a little bit more smooth and kind of hydraulic-y feeling. It's still not obviously going to be to real life perfect, because obviously the game is a lot different than real life, but I found it to be just a lot smoother when you're operating. It feels a lot more realistic. You can kind of feel the boom movement and give it a little bit more pressure without it shooting the logs across the map, so to speak. So that's kind of been a nice change there. So new tracks we went over. I'm just reading my list of goodies here. Fixed off-centering on wheels, so that's just some small thing, but on some of the tracks, the wheels that you don't actually see on the tracks were kind of too close or too far away, so that's been corrected now. The skidder, which we'll run over to the skidder here. So a big complaint was that it didn't go fast enough, so I have increased the speed. So when you're in your forward gear, it can go up to, I think, 19 now. Before, I think it was stuck at 13, 14 for some people. So yeah, when you're in full go in forward, you can now go 19, which is, it's still not crazy fast, but it's faster for the people that wanted to haul wood. For reverse, it is 15 is the max, because when you're backing up to a pile, it's still better to have that little bit of control. I played with the tire balances, a little bit of weights on the tires as well. Some people were saying that they weren't able to trek up some of the steeper slopes. So once we added the speed and played with the weight, you can now kind of go up these slopes. Like I said, it's a little bit slow, but you in real life, I don't think you'd be able to just zoom up most of these slopes. So it does feel a lot better now for anybody that was having troubles getting up hills or whatnot on certain maps. As you can see, it has no issue climbing now. It's pretty darn torquey, if you ask me. So yeah, so speed increase fixes. Played with the grapple a little bit. Nothing crazy change. The locking straps were a bit off, but now it seems to be all good. So hopefully when you guys play with that, you'll notice a general improvement to the overall feel of it while you're dragging logs around. The low bed, which isn't out here right now, I increased the friction on the low bed itself, so machines don't slide around quite as much if you're doing any kind of crazy stuff. They stay locked down even better than they were before. The map, well, actually, what was the other thing I wanted to go over? So on these, was it the tracks? Man, drawing a blank here. Anyway, well, we'll go to the fixed logs. I'm sure I'll remember what it was. These logs have been changed a little bit now. So I've updated the map, so make sure you re-download the map with this update as well. Before, what was happening was these logs would really stick together, and a whole bunch of people were complaining, saying that when they went to do a grab, they would all stick together and not roll up nicely. And I think that was because the rolling friction was set super high on them, so basically they wouldn't roll, they would just stick together. So when you're unloading or loading them onto a truck, they would just literally sit on top of each other like glue. Now, as you can see, they kind of roll off of each other quite nice. I mean, you can still stack them on top, but like when you get them on the edge, they actually roll. But before, you used to be able to put it almost on that edge, and it would stay stuck like to that edge. So it was kind of like they were all covered in glue, which was super inefficient. Oh yeah, the other thing now, see, I knew I'd remember it. The one change that we did do was another complaint a few people sent me, saying that the machines would roll ahead, especially when you were using the buncher in the bush. So basically when you were trekking, so if you were backing up or going forward, as soon as you stop movement, the machine wouldn't stop instantly. It would kind of like roll ahead a little bit. So when you were bunching, if you went to stop, your machine would kind of keep rolling ahead, and it would almost make you cut the tree prematurely. So now when you're trekking ahead or trekking backwards, as you can see when you release, it's pretty much a dead stop. I mean, there's a little bit of roll, but that's just the weight of the machine. But like I said, when you're trekking, it does actually like stop pretty close to instant, as opposed to before where it would keep rolling ahead quite a bit. Yeah, so let's take a look at these grapples real quick. I did a little bit of work on the grapples as well, to make them a little more efficient at grabbing. Like I said, the tree weights and the tree physics have been changed, so that they are a little bit more positively working. One other thing I'll address in this update, or in this video, connecting the heads can sometimes be annoying. So in Farming Simulator 2019, the heads could connect pretty much 360 degrees. So no matter which way you went to attach it, it would connect. For whatever reason in this game, they've set it so it's like, I think it's a 90 degree or something like that. So you kind of sometimes have to like as you can see, it doesn't give me the option to connect it. So sometimes you kind of got to like drive around the frickin' thing to try to connect it. The other alternative is you can actually rotate your head until it kind of lines up with where it wants to go. And then sometimes you get a notification. But sometimes that notification also doesn't come up. So like you'll hover above it and it doesn't come up. If you just hit Q, it will connect it. This bucket is entirely backwards. I don't even know if I have the terraform mod on right now, do I? What is it, Alt-Z or something? Oh yeah, I do. Okay, let's see if we can dig. So like I said, on this bucket, you can turn it and line it up yourself just with the rotate of the grapple. And then once you kind of figure you got it lined up with your bucket, you can start kind of digging into the ground, which I think I have the settings right. Sometimes the terraform settings aren't right and it doesn't dig, but I think, oops, I can't remember how to turn it on. So it's on, fill type is stone. I can't remember what button turns it on. I haven't used this in so long that I literally can't remember. So on, debug mode. Do I have to like turn the head on or something? I can't remember. Maybe it's in here. Terraform. There we go. It's up in the top corner. Oh, Y, right, duh. Y to enable it. And then you can actually start digging into the ground and making your little piles. So again, like I said, so far, well, normally you can actually make a pile, but I think I screwed something up there. When you're digging with this, eventually you're going to hit water, and hopefully eventually we're going to have a better head to kind of do it. I think it's the mode. If you hit mode or something, lower ground, discharge node, raise ground. I can't remember. I haven't used this thing in a long time, but it does normally pour out and make a big pile of stone on the ground, which is, or whatever you kind of set it to, dirt or stone. But it's not doing it because I probably screwed up a setting or something. But anyway, you have yourself a digger bucket now, so you can actually kind of dig into the ground and load trailers and do whatever you want with it. So that was a big request. Not really log related, but maybe if you're road building, be road building related. So here's the E50. Line my head up here. Let's see here. If I can actually find the node here. Rotate it around. There you go. So if you rotate it, eventually it does find it. It's just super slow. So yeah, like I said, the dangle head works fairly well. It's very similar to the skidder. Now, just like we had in Farming Simulator 2019, I have a node that disables the tilt, because a lot of people complained about the tilt, and I know it would happen again. So if you don't have, for instance, if you don't like where the position of your dangle head is, if you hit G, as in God on your keyboard, or golf, if you hit G, it switches to it turns the tilt on. So as you can see, that little tilt goes up and down, and you can kind of control which way you want the tilt to sit. And then once you're happy with where the tilt is, you hit G again, it disables it. So then you're not worried about tilting your head. It keeps it level all the time. And then when you go for your grabs, it'll sit pretty consistently. Again, so this is very similar to the skidder setup. It grabs very firmly, very aggressively, but I haven't had a problem with it yet. It's been working really well. Same for longs. I did a lot of tests with longs, dragging them onto trailers, kind of southern style, and that seems to work pretty well. But I'll let you guys kind of play with it and be the judges of that. Again, like I said, it grips really quick and really hard, gives a really nice grab on there. Yeah, I think you guys will really enjoy this. I've had really a super fun time loading and unloading trailers with it, so I think you guys will too. Let's grab one more just because we're addicted to grapples. There we go. Boop. Again, these grapples are going to feel a little different than they did in 19 because they're the physics system that's set up on them is very different than what we had then. So I think you guys will notice they're a little more bitey, but they do hang on really darn well. That's for sure. So that's a big one for me because nobody wants a grapple that falls apart. Okay, so that's the E50. I mean, it's a very simple concept, just a grapple, but very fun. I think you guys will enjoy that. Let's go on a tour. If I can figure out which way my tracks are facing. There we go. This next one we're going to look at is the Whalen Claw, which is just a big, nasty grabber. Again, we have to rotate a little bit. This is the Whalen. This thing, I actually really like this claw. It's super fun to load trucks with. And as you guys will all soon experience, be the same for you. Again, grips really well, super sturdy. Because it's such a wide grapple, it does hold on to the shorts a lot better. Even longs I was playing with, I can usually do like 2 or 3 longs as long as they're not too fat of a tree at a time when you're loading, and it feels pretty good for the most part. But like I said, these are really snatchy now, I want to say. Like, they grab the logs really good. And the reason they do this, and this was inspired by the real life one. So after I've been operating like the real machine, when you do get to that last little bite, it does snatch the log really good. Like, so you'll kind of go in and it kind of just that final little grab to make sure you got it. It's just a really good feeling knowing that you have grip on it. Now, the current grapples that are out from the last update are not so great for that because they kind of bounce around a little bit and they jiggle a bit, and you can't really do stuff like that as efficiently. So like I said, the new ones do have a really good, I don't know, a good snappy kind of feel to them when you kind of go to grab. We'll put this one over here. So that's the Whalen. That's another really good grippy one, even though they kind of bounce when you drop them, but it's just a beautiful component system. See if we can get this one on there. Line it up here. Nope, not quite. There we go. You just got to keep rotating until you find the point. So this is the power clam. This guy is a monster grapple. It does hold a lot of stuff in it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy loading with that. It doesn't open as wide, and I probably could make it open wider actually, but I didn't really want it too much of a wide grapple. But like you said, it does hold them really well. You can also actually pencil really well with this guy. You can do under the boom or over the boom, whatever you want. Oops, as long as you don't get your little fingers stuck out there. That was a terrible example. I've actually done that a lot in real life too. You gotta be careful with that. Should get the little stuff. can pencil like this. I found out the hard way in real life. It's actually really hard to pencil like that. You have to be working with some super light wood. But as you can see, I mean, that's a pretty darn good mitt full of wood there. So I think you guys will really like the power clam. This is the new version of the power clam. The old power clam was the one with the kind of the heavier duty steelies on it, like had bigger teeth, kind of similar to the one that I was using in my loading videos. But I prefer this style, to be honest. This is like I said, it's a good mitt, does a good grab. Just gotta kind of watch those bottom pieces there. But yeah, I think you guys will have fun with these. New clams, new toys. Other than that, I don't think there's any really big changes for now. Like I said, I'm working on new machines because I know everybody's kind of getting sick of these bodies. The 880, the John Deere are kind of the only ones out. But I do have a few new machine bodies that will be coming down the pipe. And then hopefully an announcement for a really cool announcement working with a new company that's going to be bringing us some new machine bodies as well. Again, it hasn't been finalized yet, but once it is, I'll make a big announcement, jumping in joy and glee, so that I can give you guys all the new cool stuff. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll try to get back to you. And if not, we will catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot. We'll see ya.